What's up, buddy, man? It's the Bronco the Frog coming at you with another reaction video. 15 most brutal fouls in football. Y'all already know I'm a man for the violence. I'm a fan for the violence. I am goddamn here for the violence. I ain't reacting to no violence in the goddamn minute. Coming from an American background and watching the NFL and stuff like that, the public perspective is always that the sport of soccer or football, as y'all call it, is soft as hell, just full of flopping and whatnot. While that may be true to a large extent, there still be some physicality and roughhousing going on here and there, bro. We go see what type of brutality they talking about on here. Oh, if I see something like with Marcelo broke bro leg, I don't know if I can watch that, bro. The video is by Footflix. Go subscribe to that, man. Let's see what goes down.
Here are the 15 most brutal fouls in the history of football.
They haven't cleared it all.
Axe kick that boy. Hip check that boy.
Number 15.
At
number 15, the foul was committed by a player normally known for being a good guy. It was in the final match of the group stage of the 2018 UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich, the group stage of the
UEFA? Boy, what the hell?
2018.
What he said? Do he mean you wait for that? Boy just said UEFA. Run it back.
FA Champions League.
Hold on.
It was in the final match of the group stage of the 2018 UEFA Champions League.
Oh, man.
Bayern Munich versus Ajax Amsterdam.
AJ. Oh, man. Boy, what the heck? This how y'all used to look at me when I first came on the scene, huh? Is this how I used to pronounce this nonsense? Goddamn Ajax.
For giving their all. They each scored a goal. However, in the 75th minute, chaos erupted on the Ajax bench.
Oh, he tried to go for ball and he straight high karate kick bro in the head.
Oh,
with his cleat.
He wanted to head the ball. The Bayern directly hit Tagliafico in the forehead with his boot studs.
That ain't no forehead. That's back of the head. And you know, even in boxing, the UFC, you can't hit in the back of the head.
Tagliafico in the forehead with his boot.
That's not no forehead. That's back of the head, fool. He could have. That could
studs,
swell
causing
some brains.
A laceration. Tagliafico
everything had. Everything had.
But luckily was able to continue and finish the match. Mueller, on the other hand, was shown a red card and had to take an early shower. The foul was quite violent but unintentional. However, our top 3 fouls, without a doubt, are brutal. Number 14. In the 1990 World Cup held in Italy, Cameroon surprised everyone by beating the defending champions Argentina 1-0 in the opening match. But there was a scene from that game that the football world will never forget. Just before the end of the match, there was one last counterattack by Claudio Caniggia.
Oh, damn, hip check,
During that tackle, even his shoe flew off. Massing was directly sent off, and this foul was considered one of the worst in World Cup history.
For sure.
Indeed, football is pure emotion, and in some cases, tempers flare up quickly. Number 13. Our next foul is committed by a player known mainly for his aggressive defending and unsportsmanlike conduct.
Boy, Pepe.
In the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, Barcelona with
El Clásico
Messi played against their arch-rivals Real Madrid. Messi's run towards the goal, as usual, could only be stopped by a foul. Yep. And while Messi was on the ground, Pepe did this.
Pepe. Stumped.
He stepped on his hand. Messi screamed and Barcelona went mad, rightfully so. The referee didn't see it, and there was no video-assisted referee at that time, so Pepe didn't receive a foul. Messi, on the other hand, was able to continue playing and scored the winning goal against Real. After the match, Pepe apologized, claiming it was unintentional.
Keep your apology,
Sorry,
boy.
Pepe, but it looked anything but accidental.
Keep your apology,
Number
Pepe.
12. The next foul didn't even result in a yellow or red card, although this tackle nearly killed the other player. In 1988, Rangers were playing against Steaua Bucharest. The Scottish team was known for their rough style of play, but Graham Souness went a bit far.
Look at the way he kneed me back.
Reckless and dangerous, 40 years ago, the studs on the boots were made of iron,
I thought that was
not
his
plastic.
knee.
The player who suffered the foul had to undergo surgery, and in the hospital he discovered how serious the situation was. One of his lymph nodes had burst, which could have endangered his life. Fortunately, everything turned out well, and Graham didn't even receive a card for his ugly foul.
That's them damn 90s players, bro. The 80s players.
The Premier League is known to be a bit more physical, and John Terry was known to be one of the toughest defenders. However, this tackle knocked him out cold. It was the final phase of a League Cup match between Chelsea and Arsenal, and the score was tied at 1-1. Chelsea earned a corner, and Terry wanted to show off his heading skills.
They haven't cleared it
Oh, God.
Abu Diaby wanted to kick the ball away from the goal, and Terry attempted a header at the same time. It was not a good combination. Terry swallowed his tongue, stopped breathing for a short period, and retreated on the field.
I remember reacting this. I ain't know they were John Terry.
At least Didier Drogba scored the winning goal, making Chelsea the winner of the match.
Bro, that is
Number
scary.
10. The foul in the next match also occurred during an important encounter and almost sparked a brawl between the two teams. We're back in Spain in the 2011 Spanish Super Cup match between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Remember Pepe? Barcelona was leading 3-2, and it was already the last minutes of extra time when Marcelo had no chance of recovering the ball and brutally lunged at Fabregas from behind.
Marcelo always been like that, huh?
Pure frustration. A straight red card.
Boy, mad because they losing.
Mourinho pinched the ear of the Barca coach. Piqué and Ozil pushed.
Whoa. They say Jose Mourinho
pinched the ear of the Barca coach. Piqué and Ozil pushed.
I didn't know he did that.
There was a lot of confusion. Pinto, David Villa, Marcelo, and Ozil all received red cards and had to watch the final seconds from outside the field. You don't never let a man put your hand around your neck now. Number 9. Axel Witsel was an important player for Dortmund in recent years, but when he was making a name for himself in 2009, he was involved in one of the worst fouls, and some even called for his ban from professional football.
For real?
At the time, the young Witsel played for the Standard Liège. He was part of Belgium's golden generation, and top clubs from around the world had their eyes on him, but then during a match against Anderlecht, this happened.
What'd he do?
Witsel broke the opponent's leg, received a red card, and was suspended for 8 matches. He continued to claim it was all unintentional, but with the next incident, the perpetrator of the foul won't be able to escape.
I was finna say, it looked accidental to me.
Simply brutal. Number 8. It's the final of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa. The Netherlands, with Arjen Robben, faced the Spanish tiki-taka.
He just called Arjen Robben.
World Cup in South Africa. The Netherlands, with Arjen Robben, faced the Spanish tiki-taka of Iniesta and Xavi. It's the 28th minute and the score is 0-0 when Nigel de Jong turns into a kung fu fighter against Xabi Alonso.
Kung fu fighter? Straight chest. Y'all know the little Damar Hamlin thing that happened. He could have stopped his heart.
With the referee because the Englishman, Howard Webb, only showed a yellow card. It's hard to believe when you see those images. Fortunately, Alonso could continue playing, and since Robben failed to score, Spain ultimately won the World Cup.
What save y'all think is better?
And since
this save or the Emiliano save?
Ultimately won the World Cup. But this foul in the Bundesliga didn't have a pleasant aftermath. Number 7. The injured player even sued the other player and the opposing team's coach.
He won?
In 1981, Bielefeld played against Werder Bremen. Ewald Lienen tried to dribble past
these pronunciations,
the Iron
Lord,
Studs cut Lienen's thigh, and I can't show you the leg photos, otherwise YouTube would block the video. The player recovered from the injury after 4 weeks, but sued Simon and Otto Regal, the coach of Werder Bremen at the time. According to Lienen's accusation, the player had encouraged his teammates to commit the foul. The lawsuit failed, but the incident didn't go unnoticed. In the return match, the coach even sat on the bench wearing a bulletproof vest. There were death threats against him.
Bro, they did not play no games back in the day. Coach pulled up to the game with a bulletproof vest on.
Martin Taylor also received a death threat after his foul on Eduardo. We're back in the Premier League. Birmingham City against Arsenal. Martin Taylor's incredibly brutal foul against Eduardo resulted in a broken tibia and fibula.
Oh, his leg.
The incident was so shocking that even on TV, replays weren't shown. Taylor was suspended for 3 matches. Eduardo returned to the field after a long
They better than NFL. Y'all seen they say they ain't show the replay on TV. Boy, the NFL and NBA, when somebody break their leg, they replay that whole 5 different times, and 3 of the times they whole in slower motion, and slowest motion. They just be playing it back and forth. And commentators be, ugh.
Number 5.
You hate to see it, Jim.
Our number 5 occurred 2 years later, again in a Premier League match. Stoke City's Ryan Shawcross entered the duel, made the first contact, and broke Aaron Ramsey's leg. Shawcross received a red card and was suspended for 3 matches. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger and the rest of the team were furious. 19-year-old Ramsey was making a name for himself in the football world, and many feared his career was already over. Fortunately, he recovered from the terrible injury and continued to play. Now let's move on to a foul that gave the player a nickname. The Butcher of Bilbao.
The Butcher of Bilbao.
In the 1980s, Athletic Bilbao and Barcelona had the biggest rivalry in Spain. Bilbao became champions in 1983, Barcelona won the cup, and in their 4th round of the new season, the two teams were set to face each other. The skillful Catalans against the tough Basques. Two different football worlds. The score was already 2-0.
This is Diego Maradona fight.
Received the ball in midfield.
It's hard tackle. Now they finna get the squabbling.
Brutally lunged from behind and broke the 25-year-old Maradona's ankles.
Broke his.
Maradona had to stay out.
This not the fight. This probably before the fight. This probably why they really was squad. Maradona like, need somebody hit a bicycle, need knock bro out, but yeah. Oh Lord.
Chia brutally lunged from behind and broke the 25-year-old Maradona's ankles. Maradona had to stay out of the game for several months, and Gaiachaquia received an 18-match suspension. We've reached the top 3, and
I'm surprised he ain't get no death threats.
Number 3. In 2006, Manchester City played against Portsmouth. After a corner kick, Portsmouth player Mendes rushed to clear the ball.
No.
Ah, Lord. And he not.
Ben Thatcher hit him in the face with an elbow for no reason.
Bro!
Mendes lost consciousness and had to be treated on the field and then taken to the hospital.
Oh, my mama. Whole team need to come and beat his ass.
What does one have to do to get a red card?
The whole team.
Later, he was
he
suspended
didn't
yellow
red
card.
him for that?
What does one have to do to get a red card in England? Later, he was suspended by the Football Association for 8 matches and fined by his own club.
Whole team's supposed to come and beat his ass
as a punishment. Hey, it's
not
fair
to go
to hit
Maradona
others
type
when you're
shit.
angry, but it's perfectly fine to hit the
subscribe to that man.
Now, let's move on to a classic moment in football. Number 2.
Number 2.
France versus Germany.
France versus
In
Germany.
1982, the two teams met in the World Cup semifinals, and the encounter was ruthless. Suddenly, a good opportunity for France.
Goalkeeper jumped up and hip
Schumacher
checked
lunged
him.
at Battiston and
Look at
knocked
the
him
way
out
his
with a
head
powerful
say
blow.
Flubu.
The player lost several teeth and suffered a spinal injury. One of the worst fouls ever.
Oh my
Schumacher had no
gosh.
chance of touching the ball, and it seemed like he just wanted to knock out the French player. But here's the absurd part. He didn't receive any card, not even a yellow one. Germany won the semifinal, but then lost to Italy in the final.
That's what they get.
Our number 1, perhaps the most brutal foul ever, happened in England. Are we really surprised?
Of course, Roy Keane involved.
September 1997. Manchester United was playing against Leeds. Roy Keane and Alf Inge Haaland, or rather Erling Haaland's father, clashed several times during the match. 5 minutes before the end, Keane wanted to trip Haaland, but in the process, he injured himself. Haaland leaned over him and shouted to stop faking an injury, but Keane wasn't faking.
But he wasn't faking,
He torn his cruciate ligament and had to be out-injured for a long time. 3.5 years later, the two faced each other again. Haaland was playing for Manchester City, the eternal rival of Manchester United.
Derby.
Keane wanted only one thing, to have
revenge
on Haaland. He received a red card and a 3-match suspension.
It's like, bro, how you go get mad? You hurt yourself trying to hurt him the first time you broke your ligaments. Now you mad and now you really trying to...
Plus a fine of £5,000.
This man, Roy
A year and a
Keane.
half later, he wrote in his autobiography that he wanted to hurt Haaland with that foul, and the English League handed him another 5-match suspension and a fine of £150,000. But wait, did you know that due to a brutal foul, Ronaldo died on the field for a minute? Watch the video here.
Y'all goddamn football boys, man, diving their legs, taking people's legs out. You can just snap a leg just like that. Lord Jesus, 15 most brutal fouls in football, man. I'm out.